Before you scroll away, pause for just one moment, because this is the kind of story that sneaks up on you. The kind that starts quietly, then grips your chest before you even realize your heart is involved. If you've ever loved, lost, or tried to start over when your past refused to stay buried, this story is for you. And if stories like this move you, please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us bring you more stories that stay with you long after the screen goes dark. The night Daniel agreed to go on the blind date, he told himself it was just dinner. Nothing more, just food, polite conversation, and then back home before his daughter fell asleep. He stood in front of the bathroom mirror adjusting a tie he hadn't worn in years, barely recognizing the man staring back at him. The lines around his eyes were deeper now, carved there by sleepless nights and quiet grief. Behind him, from the hallway, came the soft hum of a cartoon playing, Emma's comfort noise before bed. She was 6, with her mother's laugh in her mother's eyes, and every time Daniel looked at her, he felt both blessed and broken at the same time. 3 years had passed since Lily died, yet the world still felt arranged around her absence. Friends told him it was time to move on. His sister practically begged him. Even Emma, in her innocent way, once asked why Daddy never smiled at other grown-ups the way he used to smile at Mommy. That question lingered longer than any well-meaning advice. So when a coworker insisted on setting him up, Daniel finally gave in, not because he felt ready, but because he felt tired of standing still. The restaurant was warm and softly lit, the kind of place meant for first impressions and second chances. Daniel arrived early, his nerves buzzing under the surface. He rehearsed answers in his head, what he did for work, how long he'd been single, how to casually mention he had a child without scaring someone away. When the door opened and she walked in, the air seemed to shift. Her name was Claire. She hesitated just inside the doorway, scanning the room the same way he was, and when their eyes met, something old and sharp twisted in his chest. Not because she looked like Lily, she didn't, but because the feeling was the same. That strange sense of recognition, as if life had briefly aligned itself into something meaningful. Claire smiled, a little unsure but warm, and Daniel found himself standing before he realized he'd moved. Conversation came easier than he expected. Claire laughed freely, asked thoughtful questions, and listened in a way that made Daniel feel seen rather than inspected. He told her about Emma, about the lunches he packed shaped like animals, about bedtime stories read twice because Emma always asked for one more. Claire didn't flinch, she didn't offer pity, she just smiled and said, "She sounds wonderful," like it was the most natural thing in the world. But as the evening went on, memories crept in uninvited. The way Lily used to tease him about over-seasoning his food. The way she'd reach for his hand under the table. Daniel felt guilt rise up suddenly and fierce, as if enjoying this moment meant betraying the woman he'd loved. He excused himself to the restroom, splashed water on his face, and stared at his reflection again. He whispered Lily's name, half expecting the familiar ache to steady him. Instead, he felt something else, fear. Fear that moving forward meant leaving her behind. When he returned, Claire seemed to sense the shift. She didn't press, she simply said, "We can take things at whatever pace feels right." That kindness undid him more than any question could have. Their second date was coffee. The third was a walk in the park with Emma reluctantly in tow, clinging to Daniel's leg at first, then gradually warming to Claire when she crouched down and asked about her favorite dinosaur. Watching them together stirred something hopeful and terrifying inside him. Emma laughed that day, a full-bodied laugh he hadn't heard in too long, and Daniel went home afterward and cried in the kitchen when no one was watching. The real challenge came weeks later, on the anniversary of Lily's death. Daniel always took the day off, retreating inward, reliving hospitals and last words. Claire knew the date but didn't show up with platitudes or demands. She simply left a note on his doorstep with a container of soup and a line that read, "You don't have to be okay today. I'm here when you are." That night, Daniel finally spoke out loud the fears he'd kept locked away, that loving again meant forgetting, that Emma might think he was replacing her mother, that happiness felt like something he no longer deserved. Claire listened. When he finished, she said softly, "Love doesn't run out. It grows, and nothing you feel for me takes away what you had with her." It was the first time someone had said it without trying to fix him, and something inside Daniel loosened. The resolution didn't come in a grand gesture or a perfect moment. It came slowly, in ordinary days. In shared grocery trips, in Emma reaching for Claire's hand without being asked. In Daniel realizing one afternoon that he was laughing without guilt, that the memory of Lily no longer felt like a wound but like a chapter that had shaped him. One evening, as Daniel tucked Emma into bed, she looked up at him and said, "Mommy would like Claire." The words landed gently, like permission he didn't know he needed. Later that night, sitting on the couch beside Claire, Daniel finally told her he was ready, not to forget, but to build something new alongside the memories that made him who he was. This story isn't just about a blind date or a single dad. It's about the courage it takes to open your heart after it's been broken, and the quiet truth that moving on doesn't mean moving away from love, it means carrying it forward. If this story touched you even a little, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. You never know whose heart might need the next story we tell.